I do, Stuart.
Yes.
So today I got some news I wasn't expecting. It was a little shocking. And so as I was thinking about it, I was trying to apply what you had said yesterday about, digesting it, releasing the energy. Could you speak to, so I tried, could you speak to the process of how you do that?
How you do exactly what? You'll have to repeat what you started with.
Um, I got some news that was rather shocking to me and wasn't what was expected. And so I was trying to handle it in the best way I could and not be drawn into any drama or anything. So I was trying to use,
Okay, I
use it
understand.
like you said for
You know,
energy
look,
and release it.
Gabriella and everyone else, life is full of those kind of endless surprises. Things come along that please try and sit up and do the meditation while I talk. Things, my computer, things come along and, they really just throw us for a loop, totally unexpected. And I think they are incredible reminders, as I say all the time, of how deeply we have to work on ourselves in order to get strong enough so that things of that nature do not drain our energy out of us, throw us into depression, all kinds of states of moods, that really just suck us dry. They just are a reminder that it's like I always say, you don't know what's going to happen in 10 minutes. And life is full of endless situations that come, and each and every one of them is a test. Have we grown? Can we stay quiet while we have to deal with this? Can we stay open? Can we connect with higher energy while we deal with this? And if we can't, it's not a negative thing. It is just saying, look, you have more work to do on this. It's another form of incredible teaching. And the way I keep going over it again and again, the way that you do this is when these emotional and mental things come, you just draw them down into the hara, to the chakra below the navel, and keep doing that until you learn how to master that kind of internal chaos. And those emotions, that mental, it'll begin to listen to you. I mean, it's like a Pavlovian dog. You have to train yourself, you know, in how to function when, the next moment comes. And if the next moment brings something that is impossible, that's difficult, and totally unexpected. I mean, look how many moments I've had like that they happen every day to me, frankly. And the only way I can deal with them is years of training to bring that energy to the chakra below the navel and to virtually arrive at a place in my life where I live that way. But good, bad, and different, whatever takes place in life, if one is centered in the chakra below the navel, you can deal with it in a calm, quiet way. It's not going to throw you off balance. Now,
Could you
in ordinary speaking, this sounds like an impossible thing to do, but it's not. I can only speak out of my own experience of having done it, remembering what I was like pre-Rudy, remembering what I was like 10 years on from after Rudy took his samadhi, and how I was still struggling to contain that. And I remember when I was younger, and I've said this a lot, I used to throw myself into situations, literally throw myself into the middle of the ocean and had to swim to land. And I would do it almost intentionally. Can I stay balanced? Can I stay quiet? Can I stay open while I'm dealing with this enormous pressure? And then I remember Rudy used to talk about diamonds. They were a product of 50,000 years of the Earth's pressure. the kind of pressure that I was living under created a diamond, only because I kept using it to get closer to God, as a reminder that I need to grow in myself and grow to get closer to my connection with higher energy in the universe.
Could you speak to the technique to do that?
Well, we have a chakra for the 8 billionth time right below the navel. I mean, some call it the third chakra, some call it the hara, some call it the tatien. It's the seat of power inside a human being. We have another instrument called the human mind, which gabs and talks and yaks and thinks and creates a lot of conflict and craziness inside us. But that energy is really powerful. And if we marry the mind with our will, and we draw that energy of the mind into the chakra below the navel, this tool, that's all it is. It's a tool. It will open the core of your being. It will help you to build the kind of power I'm talking about that enables you to deal with those kinds of situations. But that takes training, it takes practice, it takes work, and it takes coming up against yourself 100 times a day. So, I say it all the time, the only person we're up against is ourselves. Christine, can you please sit still? I mean, if you need to move, just turn your computer off or, put it on, get rid of the video. Anyway, that is what the work is all about. It's what the training is all about. Learning how to master the most difficult energy inside a human being that one could master, and that's the human mind. And learning how to use it as pure energy, not a thinking process, not an analytical tool, but as pure energy that will go into the core of your being and will open it, and then you breathe there. And the breath, is life. And it will develop and strengthen that chakra. And if you consciously do this in every meditation, even during the day, you sit down and you take some breaths and you try to get centered here. You don't have to do the double breathing, but you can just try to get centered here, get quiet. The training, the repetition of doing this, building that kind of habit inside yourself will truly give you the capacity to stay centered in your life. But it takes time, it takes patience, it takes a lot of inner work. I was just kind of doing my 38th tantric thing, I tell you. And one of the things I was talking about in there is in this right at the beginning, yes, Rudy told me work brings more work. The deeper you go inside yourself, the more inner work you will bring upon yourself. And we live in a society where everybody wants work to bring less work. And yet, if you want a spiritual life, what you're working to attain is a connection with energy that is infinite in the universe. So there's no limit to the amount of growth that can take place inside a human being. Part of that growth is learning to be at peace with yourself. Learning how to live every day with a quiet mind, open heart, love inside you, forgiveness inside you. But you have to understand, that's one of the hardest things about this meditation practice. There's a constant reminder that, one needs to have patience. One needs to be able to do this over time And then time is irrelevant, in terms of cosmic time. 100 years is like a blinking of an eye. It's totally irrelevant. It's just a matter of how long it takes for one to truly make the effort to master their inner chaos, their inner life, and learn how to use the mind and the breath and all the tools we have to build a connection with God. That gives us balance. And when these tests come every day, we are balanced and we can deal with them. We don't get crazy because of them. We don't waste energy because something went wrong or some news was not bad or some news was not good. I mean, I shouldn't tell you this, but I said it before. I remember once when, never forget this, I got a phone call. I won't tell you what it was about, but I got a phone call. And in that phone call, I lost a huge amount of money. Huge. I'm talking not, $50, 100, and this was a lot of money. And I had to teach a meditation class literally 10 minutes later. I mean, you think something thrown at you would throw you off balance. I had to sit down and do this. There were 30 people sitting in the room waiting for Stuart to teach a class. Sat down, did it, and went above what took place. I used what took place to get higher than it. So that energy really just dropped away from me. And what's amazing is, whatever you lose, another door opens and it always comes back. That's really, as long as you keep working. One door closes, another one opens, and things just continue to move forward. Does anyone else have I mean, I don't want to go on and on with those kinds of experiences I had, but man, they're countless. That I'm sitting here today doing what I'm doing, talking like this, and teaching this kind of class is just a testament to the power of this meditation and how it enabled me to overcome so many freaking difficult situations that I had with people, I had with money, I had all kinds of things. I mean, I can tell you, I mean, I won't get into it. It's a laundry list that goes on forever of stuff that made it possible. Every single one of those experiences forced me to go to a higher place in myself and to understand that the only answer, as Rudy said, the best way out of town is up. The only answer is to go to God. All the rest of it, any horizontal answer, just makes you crazy. Doesn't work. Works for a minute and then you're involved in something else. You go up to a higher energy and you bring that energy into the chakra below the navel. It will give you strength and balance to deal with anything you have to deal with in your life. And I mean this. And I only mean it because I just look back at my life. Holy shit, Stuart, you're still alive sitting here doing this? I mean, if I think about it, it's totally amazing. It really is a miracle of God to be sitting here and doing this. And a miracle of this meditation that Rudy left us, this double breathing, that, greatest gift he left the world. Does anyone have a question? Anyone else have a question?
Stuart, I have a question, Bob Singh.
Yes, Bob.
With so many friends and family crossing over at a clip, what is the best thing that I can do to free myself and to send them off in a good way?
You mean, well, repeat the beginning of what you said.
My question centers around friends and family that are crossing over to the other side, and how I can let things go to send them off in a good way, good heartfelt way.
I mean, it comes to the other element of deep spiritual practice, and that's the heart. Love them. Let them go. I mean, they served their time here. They went on vacation basically for a certain period of time. Love them. You know, they offered you, whatever you went through with these people, they offered you something that's valuable for your life. And you have to be grateful for that. You have to love them. And the biggest thing you really have to do is just let them go. Let them go. I mean, it's what, look, it's what Rudy told me. Don't build shrines to me. Just learn what I have to teach. Do your work, connect with God. If you do that, you will free me, not to have to come back to the earth again to clean up the mess. That's what he told me. So whoever the people are, Bob, the time you spent with them is very valuable. And you have to be grateful for that time and, not get all involved. You don't lose anything because anyone you love lives in your heart. Anyone. There's enough room in your heart for every soul that you've ever come in contact with and truly loved. And that's where they are. So they never leave you. I mean, when I was in that, I was in that airplane crash, as I've spoken about so much, and Rudy died. I mean, that was probably the single most dramatic thing that ever happened to me in my life. Person who was the closest to me, the person who saved my life, person I loved probably more than anyone ever, including my own parents, in the world. I felt totally devoted to, and there he was, lying there, gone. And everything he ever taught me came up at that moment. And the first thought I had was thanking him for allowing me to be with him the last moments of his life. Thanking him for having passed his soul force into me, and enabling me to survive that plane crash. Thanking him for the training. And then I said to myself, Stuart, now you will find out what the last 6 years were about. And you can do that with every person who's ever been in your life, thanking them for having been in your life and not allowing yourself to get caught up in all that lamenting and the loss of another person. I mean, when you grow and connect with God, when you go and connect with spirit, there's no more death. There's no life and death are the same thing. The soul evolves to infinity. All the polarity gets married. There's no more polarity. Opposites become oneness. Life and death are one thing. Two different voyages that were on same train going to enlightenment, taking us through to two different stations. So I would suggest that all of those people, find them in your heart. That's where they live. And be grateful for every moment you spent with them. And don't feel lost because they're not gone. You know, they live inside you. I mean, this year has been staggering with people getting sick and people, dying. I mean, it's been unbelievable. It's kind of quieted down a little bit now, thank God. Seated right above you, Wendy is there, the dear person who was in her life, who I was, years ago, I was very close to. She was a wonderful human being. I mean, I can see her in every class with Wendy. She's there nurturing Wendy. Always there. Rudy is always here. Nityananda is always here. And look, Rudy died almost 50 years ago. Nityananda is 70 years ago. But their presence is always here. Without them having to reincarnate to come back here. Although God knows the world needs a bunch of Rudis and Nityananda. It really does. This lunatic asylum really needs a bunch of Rudis and Nityanandas. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome, Bob. I just have an announcement to make. Maybe some of you can help in this. I don't know. But I was told by Nityananda that around the end of August, I should start looking for another place to live, hopefully a house or something like that, and where I can have people come and stay and get training, and not to live permanently, but to come a week at a time. And, so I can really start, having more in-person classes. So if anyone has ideas, I'm open to that. I mean, today in the world we live in, it almost doesn't, there are places I don't want to live, but I mean, it almost doesn't matter, It has to be the right situation and the right, house or the right apartment or whatever it is, loft, whatever it is. So I'm just throwing it out. If anything comes along and know of anything, don't be shy. Does anyone else have a question? I mean, you talk about work bringing more work. There's Nityananda telling me you're going to have to get a house. You're going to have to train people. You got to really train teachers. You got to really, keep this work alive in the world. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, well, there'll be meditation on Thursday. What is today, Monday? What is today, Monday? Well, there'll be meditation on Wednesday. And God bless you all. God bless you all for being in my life. And I'm just very grateful to be here doing this and to be sharing whatever I've learned with all of you. I told you, you're all in your own way my teacher, making it possible for me to continue to grow and to really use everything I've learned in life and try to hopefully, turn it over to other people so this work can continue in the world. God bless you all, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Wednesday.
God bless you, Stuart.
Bless you, Stuart. Thank you.
Bye.